Okay, as you saw, Champions League started really well. But as for the league, another demolition job of Porto. That's ridiculous, that one. So I thought we couldn't get better than that. But then we played Braga away from home and just let rip. 8-1 away from home. It's a landmark performance. The Salgueiros DNA tactic is suiting these players down to the ground. However, away from home, this one has been doing the job, and you saw a couple of those away results in the Champions League against PSG and Leipzig. So I would like to talk about two key players. The first one is Newgen. Remember, he replaced João Pedro. Now, this season so far, 23 goals in 21 matches. He's gone better than a goal a match. And he's been assisted by Marcos Paulo, the right winger. Assists-wise, 14 assists in 16 matches. He's going to break a record. This was never more evident than against Arsenal in the Champions League at home. Another great result this season. There's Newgen. Look at the pace and the power. A 4-1 win in the Champions League against one of the favourites. Since the Super Cup defeat, the season's been electric. We have been fantastic. On New Year's Eve, we sit top of the league, having won 14 out of 15 with one draw. Our first defeat of the season came at home to Tottenham, which hurts a bit considering most of our players play for them now. That was 2-0, first defeat. It was at this point I thought, are my team going to crumble like so often happens in FM? Because in the Taça de Portugal, Sporting knocked us out and they absolutely stole it. Shameful. But yeah, like I said, the Salgueiros DNA tactic has been ridiculous. We have scored so many goals this season in the league, and in the Champions League it's been tempting to use it, and we have done at home, undefeated other than that Tottenham game. This has also done a good duty though. If we get in front and it's a little bit close, we drop to this and we gain possession back. It's a nice alternative. So everything was going great, and then in January it was transfer window time, and you know what happens whenever there's a transfer window. Transfers out, 232 million. We joked about it, but Tottenham came back in for another player, triggered the release clause of Jose the penalty taker Mora. He goes to Tottenham for 80 million. We bought him 3 seasons back for 7.5 million, so it's a big bump up, but it is a big blow because he was having his best season for us. Now, arguably even worse was Alvaro Peixoto, who's gone to Barcelona. They again triggered his release clause. £80 million, that might raise up to 100 million. I think that was the deal. We bought him for 3.5 million. Off he goes a few seasons later after we did all the hard work developing him. I acted quickly. I had this guy on my shortlist for a good while. Robson Dutra. He's from Brazil. He's from Palmeiras. He cost me about 16 million. He'll replace Peixoto in that role, but he can also play up front if we need him to. I did bring another centre back in Nemanja Dimic, not Nemanja Vidic. This is his younger brother, Nemanja Dimic. He only cost me like 3.5 million. Very much cover, because I'm quite happy with the two I've got in there. Nunes has developed fantastically, and Angel's always been there. Now it's his time to be the main starter. A Newgen update, by the way, now in February, 20 goals in 19 league matches, 31 overall for the season. After 21 matches, we are still undefeated. We've only drew 2 matches, and we sit on 59 points. Potentially more exciting, though, is where we finish in the Champions League phase. We finished second just behind Barcelona on 19 points. So that infamous January transfer window hits again, but I did make a signing that I think some of you might have a little smile at. Welcome back to the club, Antonio Capellas. This is his 3rd stint at the club. I brought him in, he's 33 now. He's cost me the mighty sum of 170,000. Obviously, he's very much going to be a squad player. I couldn't resist though. He is in. Let's see what he can do for us. On Capellas' re-debut, he did that and got sent off. And that was one of only 2 draws this season, so cheers, Antonio. However, he did redeem himself in the League Cup final, banging in the 4th. In the league, we'd now gone 35 matches stretching back to last season, unbeaten. So thanks to our performance in the league section of the Champions League, we went into the draw as one of the seeded teams, which is hilarious when you consider that Man City, Liverpool, PSG and Inter are unseeded. And we pulled one of the big guns out, it's Inter, and we don't have a good record against them. They've won the last 3 times we've played against them. But they are struggling in Serie A at the minute, so maybe it's not the worst draw. And here we are against Inter away from home. I've gone against the grain here and we're playing the DNA tactic in the away leg. This is a risk. A risk worth taking as we completely dominate and get a massive result at the San Siro. In the home leg, I felt the worst when Inter took an early lead, but again we got to grips with it and started dominating ball. Inter couldn't deal with the pace and movement of the front 3 or 4. Necessian bullied them. An aggregate win of 4-1 against Inter. So things were going pretty well at this point, and this is a bit of a crazy thing. If you look up here, the awards this season, we've won Manager of the Month now 5 times since the start of the season. That is a truckload. It's quite nice, that. The league campaign just continued to be jaw-dropping. 23 wins out of 25. We've already got 71 points. If we look at it in a bit more detail, we've now scored 86 times in the 25 matches, only conceding 14. This has the potential to be our best season ever. On to the quarterfinals, and we draw Villarreal from La Liga. This is a tricky tie. At this stage of the save, Villarreal are probably the best team in La Liga. The top of La Liga as it stands, and in our 4 games against them, we haven't won yet. Okay, are you staying with me? As the season chugs on, we've got that massive game, tricky game against Villarreal coming up. Now, in the league, second place for Malacca were one of the teams trying to stop us going invincible. They were up next.
Are you ready?
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, you take them, don't you? 9-1 against the team second in the league, and the results throughout the season now were just exceptional. It's the season of our lives. What a pleasure this season's been. They've just clicked. You can see we're top of the league now. 26 wins out of 28. We've got 6 games to keep this up and go undefeated in the league. I haven't done that this year. I don't think I did it last year, so that'd be cool. And that 9-1er also meant we hit 100 goals for the season in just 28 matches, conceding only 16. But now it's the biggie, it's Villarreal. The thing is, right, we're away to Villarreal, and as we saw by the record, we don't have a good record against them. So now I'm torn. I'm torn whether to go at them like we do with Inter Milan, or if we revert to basically the tactic I built for the away legs in the Champions League. I probably should do that, but I just think we're playing that well. I'll regret it if we don't try this. So we're going to try this. So the third goal goes in after 43 minutes, and I am raging. And obviously, most of the goals are coming down that left-hand side. We're getting abused. So I changed the 4-3-3 for the second half. We were the much better team in the second half, and that goal there gives us a sliver of a chance. 3-1, damage was done in the first half. If you look at the match momentum, we literally battered them second half. One more goal would have been superb. 3-1, tough. We're not out of it yet, but it's tough. I got that one so wrong, dudes. I got that one so wrong. I went at them with this tactic, and I should have gone with that and trusted my thinking from the start of the season. But we live and learn. We've still got a sliver of a chance. 14 minutes gone. Marcos Paulo down the right-hand side. He's going to be key. Whips it across. Mellin puts it in. We're back in it. 22 minutes. The boys are absolutely flying. This is the start I wanted. Down that right-hand side again. Here's Marcos Paulo again. And Weisinger puts it in. We're dead level. However, Villarreal attacking down that left-hand side again. Go back in front. 40 minutes gone. This happens. Savage tackle leads to a red card. So thanks to this moment, we've got the entire second half to get this done and get to the semis. For the record, it's 82 minutes now. I'm absolutely losing hope. So we've got this corner off that shot. De Silva takes. Nunes with a booming header. Back level, come on. You know how it is in FM. When a team goes down to 10 men, sometimes you just can't break them down. It's the 90th minute now. Necessian's in. The tie has been turned round. That was unreal. Those are the type of games you love FM for. My God, I did not think we were going to get through. 82 minutes, 90 minutes, we are through. And we draw Atletico Madrid in the semi-final. The other semi-final is Liverpool and Barcelona. This is a tough ride, but we're in. Back to the league. If we beat Braga at home, we would be champions again. So that win means we finally top the Portuguese Hall of Fame. I know a few of you said, wait, what's the story with that? And this is the story with it. If you want to look at the Hall of Fame, now we are top with 7 domestic division titles, 5 cups, a total score of 1, 2, 3, 8. We've just gone above Vitor Pereira, Eddie Howe's randomly up there, and Roger Schmidt. So I'm quite glad we're above Eddie Howe. We're the top performing Englishman in Portuguese history. That was blooming lovely of Vizela to give us a guard of honour, and we rewarded them with Robson Dutra getting on the score sheet twice. He's starting to look good. He's only young, but he's going to be good. Next, it was Atletico at home. Now, Simone's not there, but he might as well have been with a 5-man defence. But after 20 minutes, we found a way through, a mistaken defence, and there's our lethal marksman, Necessian. Things got a little bit complicated after 80 minutes, however. I was pushing for a second goal, but then Nunez literally crippled the man and got sent off. So we settled for 1-0. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for the second leg. Now in the league, we're still undefeated. It's Porto away. We are not losing this record to Porto. Yes, they go 1-0 up, but we get back into it with Vidal. But then on 90 minutes, Porto go upfield. I do not believe what I'm seeing. Anyone but them. But stop the clocks. It's 92 minutes. My boys are made of sterner stuff, and we are the biggest team in Portugal now. The undefeated record is still there. 2-2 in an epic, but look at the match stats. That should have been over ages ago. So we're covering an awful lot here. We're covering an awful lot, but we are still top. We're undefeated after that draw. We've got 90 points. We've got 2 games left to go invincible. Now the problem is, do we rest players for the Champions League? But if we do that, we might not get invincible. Oh. Next up, though, is the semi-final second leg away to Atletico Madrid. The big question is this. Do we learn from the Villarreal experience and lock it up with a 4-3-3? Or do we go at them? Learn. And learn we did. We started off with the 4-3-3. We started really comfortably. Then that happened. Steinland sent off after 28 minutes. 28. So after 70 minutes, it's still 0-0. We are defending like beavers. Here's the formation I'm using, now we're down to 10 men. But Atletico can't break us down. 90 minutes gone. The only scare was here. Garcia with a save. Boys and girls, we've only gone and made the Champions League final. So we're in the Champions League final, but we've got this invincible thing in the league as well. We disposed of Tondela. It was 1-0, but it's pretty comfy. There's the match stats, comfy. We've got 1 game to go. And the game is against Gil Vicente, who are sitting mid-table. So we're in white for this one because we're away from home. I decided to rest everyone for the Barca game. No, come on now. Gil Vicente beat us 1-0. In the last game of the season to stop us going invincible. I mean, I am low-key raging. If I didn't have that game coming up against Barcelona now, I would be raging. I'm still raging. So it's Barcelona up next, and unbelievably, Xavi is still the manager. He has had some stint. What's that, 24, 25 years? Now, obviously, 19 years into the save, there's not going to be any players you recognise in this squad other than one. Alvaro, our player that we sold them in January for 80 million, well, looks like we're going to be coming up against him because apparently he's not cup tied, which is an interesting rule. Now, research tells me they will not be playing a 4-3-3 because he plays 2 formations, and I don't know where these 4-3-3s came from. Manager profile of Xavi shows you what he's going to be playing. It's a 4-2-2 box. 4-4-2 box, if you like. And I think that might play into our hands quite well because our home tactic, if we go that way, is pretty similar to that, but we're going to have a bit of width down that right-hand side. There's our tactic, and we've got the X factor of Marcus Paulo. We're basically sacrificing a striker in Xavi's Barca tactic for the width and the explosiveness of Marcus Paulo. So I'm thinking we probably go for this tactic, but we've also got this to go really wide if we need to. Okay. As expected, Barca started with the box system, and they did start better than us, to be fair. Early days, I was questioning whether to switch to the 4-3-3 because we could not get a hold of the ball at all, and they were just pinging it around us in proper Barca fashion. I guess we should have expected it with Xavi still in charge. It led to a few more chances, and Garcia was on form. However, half-time was 0-0, and we came back into it, Necessian going close. Free kick, extra time, Dutra, the youngster, deflected and somehow kept out. Boys keep the pressure on, they're keeping the pressure on. That's the centre-back down the right-hand side, by the way. Here's Tony Almeida, Angel whips it across Weisinger. What's he doing up there? He hits! Folks, I do not know what to say. I played this today, right today, in my room here with my assistant manager Kofi. It's probably the best experience I've had on FM. I think it was a 3-hour session. It was a big session. And yeah, we've guided Salgueiros to the Champions League. What? So there's the Hall of Fame. And do you know what? I thought I'd have a little look at the Hall of Fame for nationality. See if we made it. There we go, eventually. There we go. And we're second. We're tucked in behind Bob Paisley, just above Brian Clough, of course. Now, I know this was a very match-heavy video. It's not usually my style, but there was a lot going on. But I wanted you to see this. The finances of Salgueiros right now is a £573.5 million profit. They are rich. So the Salgueiros DNA tactic comes up trumps. We tweaked it as we went, but we used that an awful long way through the save. Went back to it for this season, and it's just smashed this season up, season 19. Necessian ends the season with 42 goals. He's now wanted by Barcelona, ironically. But I think the player of the season was Marcus Paulo on that right wing with 29 assists. He's now the captain as well. Now, as far as the club goes, we are in our brand new Salgueiros Stadium. We now have a beautiful photo of it, thanks to JD and Steve. Look at that. That's the Salgueiros Stadium. And they are on about actually increasing the capacity now because we are champions of Europe, you know. Above my head, facilities. Superb training facilities, superb youth facilities. And you can't get any better than our academy coaching and youth recruitment. They are in a good spot now, Salgueiros. Next season, I've lined up some good moves for them. I've got a keeper, Galte, coming in, who's an 18-year-old Brazilian. I've got Jonathan Ferreira, who's a centre-back coming in from Uruguay. We love our South American area for scouting. And Diego Espino is another Mexican. I mean, look at that for a striker. He's there in case someone does take Necessian away from Salgueiros. And I say all that because I wanted to leave Salgueiros in the best possible place. Now, I did say it's a 20-season cap, but after season 19, I think you'll all agree, what is there else to achieve? What is there else to achieve? We've won everything now we can. Last year, just dominated. We got the Champions League. And by the way, for you naysayers, now we've won the Champions League, our worldwide reputation is now 4.5 stars. Our friends across the city, Porto, who finished a lovely 8th place, by the way. Club reputation, 4 stars. 4 stars. Salgueiros are the biggest team in Porto. So that is the end of the save, folks. I'm going to include the save file, if anyone wants to pick it up from now, in the Patreon. So if you want to take it on from season 19 and maybe see what the youth development comes through, I'm going to stick that in the Patreon. I might do a retrospective episode, so we have a little look back at where we've come to where we are, best 11s, things like that. But this is the right time to finish the save. It's been beautiful, Salgueiros. It's been beautiful. Ironically, a lot of the staff, which is the best coaching and recruitment team in Portuguese football, a lot of them are out of contract. It feels like fate. So I hope you enjoyed the journey. I am going to put every episode together for one long super episode for people who want to watch it right through. It's going to end up being about 7 hours long, I won't lie. But I'm going to do that because this has been my favourite ever Football Manager save. No doubt it's been fantastic. I've loved every step of the journey. Overall value, by the way, was 1.67 billion. We spent 391 million. So yeah, we smashed it. But that's where we leave Salgueiros for Football Manager 2024. All that's left to do is go up to that horrible button up here. And instead of resign, it's going to be retire. Because I'm 61. I think I deserved it.